Welcome back, and let's talk about Harley Davidson. Or to be more precise, let's talk Harley Dyna Street Bob and forward controls conversion. This is not going to be a how-to video. If you want how-to videos, you can go to a different channel. It doesn't matter. This is a video to give you a little bit of tips and advices after I've done it, and I believe I've done it successfully because I covered over 2,000 miles on the bike in the current state and nothing came loose yet. Touch wood. Purpose of this video is quite simple. I want to give you a closer look of the conversion kit itself. When I was gearing up to do it back in the summer, I was trying to find some information and prepare basically what I need to get it done, and I couldn't find a clear set of instructions anywhere online. Even having a closer look at the brackets and all the kit that comes with it. So I thought that maybe it will help somebody, so let's do this. I'm not going to go into argument on why do you buy a street bob if you want a forward controls when the street bob comes with mid controls as standard. That's beyond the point. There are many different reasons and arguments why would you do that, but if you decided you want to get a street bob and you want a forward controls, well, let's have a look how can we get it converted. As you can see, I've got a set of forward controls here already fitted. There are so many different styles and designs. I went for the one that links on top with a single linkage. You can get the ones that links to the original gear shifter over here, and there's another link right there. I don't think there's advantage of having one or the other one. I just prefer the look of this one. In my eyes, it's a bit more solid because it's just single linkage. You don't have two joints, one over here and there's another one over there. I think it's a bit more solid this way, but I may be wrong. This is just my personal opinion. Mainly I went for cosmetics. It looks cleaner in my eyes. Well, these were the original parts are removed from the mid controls. How they fit, I don't need to explain it to you. Obviously you got the bracket over there on the frame, the foot peg mounts over here, and there's the gear selector shifter mounts over here, and there's a shorter linkage that goes in here internally, right? I don't need to show you that because you're trying to get rid of this. Now, how to shift it all across to the forward controls? Well, it's equally simple. Well, I believe all Harley Davidson Dyna frames as of 2003 onwards, obviously until the newer revamped Softail model, but the frames are the same for the Dyna. The street bob, the fat bob frame is virtually the same. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I am not. And you've got this bracket over here ready for forward control set. Basically, you don't need to drill any holes, you don't need to make any adjustments to the frame. There are probably a couple of blocking pins in there, or maybe a couple of bolts you just need to remove to make room for the new bolts to fit your forward controls assembly. This bracket over here is virtually the same bracket as the one down there for the mid control set. It's just in a different spot. It's simple as that, right? Now, while we're here, let's talk a little bit about the forward control kit itself. Guys, there are so many different designs, and I'm not kidding. Some of them I go from, £700 to £1,500. I've seen them for a ridiculous amount of money, and they fancy, they billet alloy, and they billet this, and they CNC machined to perfection, and they look like something else. And bottom line is, some of them are more expensive than the bike itself. I went over here for a second hand of original Harley Davidson controls, and if I'm not mistaken, these are from 2003 Harley Davidson Wide Glide. The owner of that bike basically decided he wants the floorboards, kind of Road King style, and he was selling them, so I picked them up from him. I think pretty good price. By the way, the bike I'm fitting that to, it's a 2007 Harley Davidson Street Bob. Obviously these controls are compatible with a 2003 bike I got it from, and I think all the way till 2000 and was it 17, 18, they Harley dropped the original Dyna design and they went to the Softail version. When they obviously changed the frame as well. I don't think that's going to be compatible later on. I don't know that, so don't quote me on this. But these controls are from 2003. and they fit perfectly to my 2007 street bob. Now this assembly is really straightforward. There's nothing there to explain over there. It's nuts and bolts and the links to the original gear selector down here in the gearbox. Now what I'm kind of proud of over here is what I've done with the mid control that sticks out over here. That's still not finished. I'm still need to put something over here or just paint it over so it looks a bit more presentable, but I just didn't have time around to do it. It's only cosmetics, it doesn't affect anything. Now with the mid controls, you got this device, that bracket that hooks up in there, and a shorter gear leverage hooks up to it this way, right? So what do we do with that? What do we do with this little bad boy that sits over there? Well, there's a number of things you can do. You can either rip the primary apart and then remove it. That's preferred way of doing it, but I just didn't want to rip the perfectly good and healthy primary cover apart, replacing on the oils, replacing on the seals, the gaskets, and messing about with all that. I just didn't want to. It didn't bother me that much. Some people put a hacksaw blade down there and very carefully they can cut it. So this guy just removes from this end and that bad boy just drops on the bottom. Again, it's kind of invasive, you know, it stops you from removing the whole thing if you don't want it, this thing over there. But it's not necessary to do that, especially that I wasn't sure at the time I was doing it. I wasn't sure I'm going to keep the forward controls. Mind you, the seat height on the street bob is slightly higher than a fat bob. That means the stretch on your legs to forward controls, and especially when you're short ass, it's going to be much greater, another inch or so, which makes a big difference. So I wasn't sure if I'm gonna like in this setup. I do now, so I can remove it if I want to. But I found a better solution. Let me show you what it is. Don't know how well you can see this guy over here, but on top of that gearbox cover here, there's a bolt. I can just remove this bolt, it's not very long, and made a bracket, made a steel bracket that probably needs painting right now, but that's beyond the point. Put some thread lock on it and a locking nut on the other side, and I just grabbed this guy that sits over there, grabbed it all the way to the back so it doesn't rattle. It pushed it way back so it's flush with the case cover. It doesn't stick out. I can either paint it black, or I can stick a penny over here or a pound coin or something else that looking cool just to hide it. That's immaterial right now. But this guy sits right there, out of the way, doesn't bother me. You can hardly even see it. As I said, I've done over 2,000 miles of this guy and it made no problems whatsoever. It doesn't shake loose, it doesn't rattle loose. Painted a white mark kind of thing on it, so I know if it's moving, but it's not. And that is, in my eyes, the best solution if you're not sure what to do with it. You can rip it apart, but if you decide you want to put forward controls, mid controls back on it, you need to put this guy back in there. At the moment it's there, it's out of the way. I don't see a problem. I think for what I wanted to do with it, having perfectly usable bike, that is a good solution. When it comes to the other side of the bike, the brake part, the right hand side, things are even more simple. And I mean, replacing that, it's half an hour job tops. Again, the original one sits over here underneath the exhaust on these two bolts, where the bracket itself, the foot peg with the brake pedal assembly goes there, sits over there, and then you got the shorter linkage that hooks up to the bottom of the brake pedal, and that hooks up to the brake reservoir, which is right here. Slave cylinder right there, right? So all you do is ever so simple. You unscrew this bad boy, you put this all on the side, remove them 3 parts, well 2 parts really, but that's kind of attached to it. You know, there's a circlip that goes on the brake pedal itself. And again, on the front of the frame, there's the exactly same bracket like is on the other end, ready to fit forward controls. And again, same set, original Harley Davidson forward controls from a 2003 Wide Glide. And it's simple as that. It came in exactly same pattern. You got the mounting unit, and that mounts to the foot peg, the brake pedal itself, and the very important, the extension arm, the torque arm, that travels all the way back down there to connect to the Mark Master brake
reservoir for the rear brake.
Again guys, options here are endless. If you go to different catalogs and different companies, they produce these kits. Some of them got master reservoirs over here, some of them got sit in the front, some of them got conversion kits, and so on and so forth, but the principle behind it is very much the same. So how do I like it? How do I like converting street bob from mid to forward controls? Well, I'm 6 foot exactly, just 180 centimeters tall, and I would not go back right now. For the first week, because I was riding the bike with the mid controls probably for a month, and I kind of got used to it. After a while it was alright, but after I've done it the first week I wasn't sure, because the stretch to the city was quite far distance at the first, but after a week I would not go back to the mid controls. I just wouldn't. Harley, I think it should come with a forwards, unless you're really short, then it makes sense, but I would not go back. That is it guys, I hope that helps. If you're thinking about how to do it, if you want to have more information about how to switch your street bob from mid to forward controls, I hope that helps in any way, shape or form. And that is it guys. Thank you very much for watching. Rock hard, have a bit, and I'll see you very soon. Hey! Nearly got you there. Of course you want to hear it. It's a Harley. Let's have a look.